Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Kicking It with KeKe, life, love, and all that other shit. I am joined with my new sister, Ebony D. Hello, love. How are you today?
Hey, sis KeKe. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. For those of you who are new to listening to Kicking It with KeKe, I am author KeKe Chanel. When I'm not writing books that entertain and empower people, I am a personal life coach where I specialize in personal growth and mindset. The purpose of my podcast is all about personal development, relationships, having those conversations that are not comfortable so we can change the narrative within our family structure and our life structure and everything that happens around us. So today's topic is something that Ebony and I were talking about a little bit a few days ago. How do I look? And that goes for like personal image when it comes to social media and all of that kind of stuff. Because whether we believe it or not, girl, someone is always watching, right? People are always watching. They always got something to say, good, bad, indifferent. So the way that we portray ourselves speaks volumes to the people that are wanting to connect with us, become business partners with us, may want to have clients, have us as a coach for them, because I know that's something that you do. But before we get into that, I would like you to tell the people who you are and what you do.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Ebony D. I am a single mom to a boy, Prince, who has changed my life for the better. I help single moms find self-love, get healthy, and develop professionally and personally. I'm a huge advocate for self-love and becoming the best version of you. I'm also a podcaster, radio show host, and a two-time best-selling author. Loving this journey called life, y'all. I'm loving it.
Yes. Well, listen, it looks good on you. For the people who are listening, go on over to YouTube and check out the behind the scenes of this interview, where we ain't gonna call it an interview, this conversation that we're about to have. Yes. So let's just get into this topic. How do I look? Man, when it comes to how do I look from a professional standpoint, what can you tell listeners the importance about maintaining a clean social media?
Listen, can I tell you, first of all, as Sister KeKe said, that everybody is watching you. I mean, it's as big as even employers nowadays want to know more behind the scenes of who you are. Mm-hmm. And because we are virtual now, a lot of jobs and employers are going online. We're working from home. They want to know more about you. They want to know who you are outside of the office. So they then go to your social medias. They may go to your LinkedIn, your Instagram. And let's face it, people don't want to work. So they may be reaching out on these platforms to find great candidates. And if your social media is not...
Get into it, sis. Tell them.
Woo! If your social media is not displaying a professional, or it's not clean, you could hurt yourself from walking into major opportunities.
Right.
Major opportunities. And not to mention, depending on the content you're putting out there, mm-hmm. people could prejudge you, mm-hmm. and it may not even be who you are. It may not. And it's very important to don't only look at your image when you walk outside the house. You see, don't not just that. Social media is where people is looking. Mm-hmm. I know for me personally, before I got up and grew up and became a woman.
Hey,
listen, my social media was talking crazy and arguing with females and, all kind of negative content.
Right.
I wasn't getting any love.
Right.
I wasn't going to the next level. Mm-hmm. But what it was doing, because I was watching that and I had that content, that's what I was attracted.
Right.
Nobody was looking for me. Not for real.
Not in a good way, not in a professional way. They might have
No.
been like, let me go ahead and see how ratchet she gonna be.
Yes. And we think they're laughing with us, but honey, listen, y'all, they're laughing at you and they're sharing it and they're talking about how much of a fool you really are. And I don't mean to be harsh, y'all. I'm not trying to be harsh, but I'm being real.
Exactly. And that's the only way to be.
They're laughing at you. So please, 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 I want to encourage you, take it seriously what you're putting on social media. You do not want to incriminate yourself in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Absolutely. And if you're trying to build a business and a brand, if you have all of that stuff on your social media, I advise you to just take it down. Or if you won't do that, start another page and keep it private. That way you have to approve who can see it and who have access to it. So that way no one can lurk unless you give them permission to do so. Yeah.
That's good. And just to piggyback off of that, when you are building a business and you want to connect with other people, y'all, you leave the page usually is public, right?
Right.
And you don't want to miss messy with your business building. Can I just say, because of my social media, y'all, I have landed partnerships.
Hey.
I have landed speaking engagements. I have landed new friendships because of the cleanliness of my social media. But it's not fake. What I put on social media is who I really am because of the personal self-development, y'all.
Listen, let's talk about it. Personal self-development, positive personal self-development, because not all self-development is positive. So we promote positive personal development. When it comes to personal development, what does that mean to you? Like, if you had to define that, how would you define it?
That is a really, really good question. So personal self-development, first of all, let's just start with the first word, personal. It's personal. So I'm gonna take it serious because it's personal. Personal self-development is me improving my mental state. It's me working on my emotional stability.
Right.
It's me overall digesting content and scriptures and things like that is going to grow me in a better way, so that I'm depositing mental coins, as Cornelius would say, mental coins.
I like that.
I don't even see this is what personal self-development is. TV, for instance. I don't even really watch TV unless it's something that's gonna feed my soul, unless I can literally take what they're giving me and give to somebody else and say, hey, I can help you in this situation. Or when I'm in my own situation down and out, I can refer back to something that I heard to bring me up out that valley that I'm lying in. So personal self-development is something to hold on to give you strength and give you motivation and inspire you to keep going when you feel like giving up. Right.
And I'm a firm believer that you have to be mindful of what you feed yourself. Mind, body, and spirit. And that could be not watching a certain television show, not listening to a certain artist on the radio, music and all of that stuff, not going to a certain place or whatever, not being around a certain person. You have to be, when you're growing and you're developing yourself personally, you take everything personal, because if it's not coming to you to feed you in some way, why bother with it? That's just how I feel about it. And for me, personal development, it is making sure that I'm operating as my best self every day. I try to do something positive to promote personal development every day, whether it's reading a new book, reading something online that feeds my soul, listening to a podcast with a great message, meditation, prayer, talking to a friend I may need a word from, or they may need something from me. So it just all depends on an individual, how you want to go when it comes to vibrating at your highest self through positive personal self-development.
I love that, vibrating at your higher personal self, because for me, I could not get to a higher personal self until I started working on me.
Mhm.
And I learned that during personal self-development, I have more fulfilling relationships. We're
Yes.
no longer connecting over drinking. We're no longer connecting over being in a club.
Mhm.
We're no longer connecting over gossiping over what he said and she said.
Yes.
We are now connecting over books and literature and things that's happening in the news. We're
Yes.
connecting on things that are bigger and better.
Mhm.
And it passes down to my child because he sees the way I'm grooming myself. Listen, I'm grooming myself.
Yes.
Okay. From the inside out, not just on the outside.
Right.
Because I'm doing that through this personal self-development routine. My son does the same thing. So
Mhm.
he don't have to be in the world at 15, 16, 20 years old. Like, what do I do now?
Right.
I'm starting him young.
Mhm.
And I just feel like it's so important. And then personal self-development gives you a sense of direction.
Yes.
Listen, I remember being lost.
Yes.
Like, which way do I go? I don't know.
Mhm.
But when you really start to develop, you gain focus,
Yes.
you gain motivation, and you feel like you can do it. It's the empowerment.
Yes. Love that. I love that. Listen, I'm all about that empowerment, that bringing balance to your life,
Yes.
alignment, connections, positive connections,
Yes.
like those spiritual connections. Because,
Mhm.
for every good, there is an evil. We know that.
Oh, yes, it is.
So you have to trust that gut and ask God to give you that discernment and, just make sure that you are being good to yourself in every way possible.
Yes.
So that starts with something that is near to your heart when it comes to positive personal development, self-love.
Oh my goodness.
Let's talk about it.
Self-love is I didn't know what self-love was until I got sick and tired of being brokenhearted, hurt, abandoned, rejected. I was so tired of being the one that was the second choice or the third choice or the fourth choice. Even though I was accomplished, I felt like I should be the number one choice.
Right.
But if you don't present yourself as number one, no one else is going to view you or even take you seriously to be number one. If you are okay with taking leftovers and you okay with people being inconsistent and you okay with people saying I'll get back to you later and you still take them back, listen, that's how they're going to treat you.
Yes.
So I had to get to the root. I said, well, look here, what's the problem?
What's the problem?
The problem is I didn't love myself enough to set those standards and those boundaries and those expectations that I'm not going to go for that. Matter of fact, I didn't even know what I wanted to go for. I didn't know nothing.
Right.
I was just going for the ride. Because I want to be around people. But self-love has taught me how to control those emotions, how to be more self-aware, how to understand why I'm operating the way I'm operating. It has helped me to set those boundaries and protect my heart. Listen, y'all, my heart been through a lot. Okay, it done been broken and shattered. I couldn't find the pieces. And I'm like, oh, where you at? And now, because I found self-love, I have not felt that brokenness, y'all. It's amazing. And what self-love really is it's really working on your mental and emotional health.
Right.
Literally. Literally, y'all. I mean, you get to the point where it's easy to say no. I ain't gotta
no explanation. Right.
It's a no. It's a no for me. Sorry.
Well, thank you.
It's a no for me. So self-love has really changed my life, which is why I decided to make a business out of it, because it's a true transformation that came behind loving me and really, looking out for my emotions and my mental. Listen, if your mind ain't right, if your mind is not right, you can't do anything. Everything follows the mind.
Mm-hmm.
If you are constantly stuck back yonder or worrying about what Joe doing over here, or thinking you're not good enough,
Mm-hmm.
or thinking you can never be the one married, or
Mm-hmm.
thinking you're gonna always be broke, listen, that's how you gonna be.
Yeah, there's power in words. You have to, and then it's like you said, it starts in the mind. Mind your thoughts. And I have a book called that. It's called Mind Your Thoughts. And it's just protecting your mind by feeding it some substance.
Oh, there you go.
You don't want to be malnourished or starved out in your mind, because then you'll fall for all kind of jokes, jokesters, jokettes, if that's a word, all of that. Yes, you have to have that self-love. And that takes care of you mentally, emotionally, and physically, spiritually, financially. All of that is bound in one when you practice self-love.
Yes. Can I just tell you, when I found self-love is when I realized I became less critical of myself.
Yeah.
Right. I was more kind to myself, but then I also addressed my insecurities. Like, what is it? And I could do it without feeling like I'm hiding. Like, I could say, man, I really don't like that stomach. And it's not because it don't look good. I just don't like the way, to others, I don't like the way it look on me.
Right.
Or I could say, you know what, I really don't like wearing heels. I just want to put on some kicks and a t-shirt and call it a day.
Yeah.
But
I like my heels though, girl. I like my heels. Yeah.
You know, I could say, you know what, I really want to wear my hair long. I don't want to cut my hair short. I could really, and I found out, I try to be superwoman, right? I'm like, I got this, y'all, right?
Yeah.
So I would try to do everything. And then I found out through self-love, my weaknesses was, I'm not good with my hands. Don't ask me to put nothing together. Don't ask me to do your hair, because I'm going to tell you what, the hands ain't going to get it done. It's not. The hands is not mine, okay?
That's not your ministry, huh, sis? Right.
On paper, give me a business plan, give me your business, give me an idea, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't, the hands, no. So self-love helped me to be real and honest with myself, but also be kind while I'm cultivating and learning how to become better in those areas.
Absolutely. So we are talking about, how do I look? All about image control, mind, body, and spirit. How do you look internally? Ooh. Are you ugly on the inside and trying to cover it up with makeup and eyelashes and a beard or whatever? Because we're talking about men and women. This is not just women. We're talking about everybody on Kicking It with KeKe, Love Life, and all that other shit. We trying to make ourselves better by doing better, because if when you want to be better, you will do it.
Yes, you will.
No one has to force you. You just do it. It's automatic. And it's a lifestyle change. You know, you start to take care of yourself mentally. You start to worry, think about the things that you're feeding yourself, like it's food, whatever. You just embody wanting to be your best self.
That's it.
And that's what we all should strive to be. How do I look? When someone looks at you, what do they see? When you look at yourself in the mirror, do you like the reflection that's staring back at you? What do you see? Someone should ask themselves that question. If you're listening today, you should ask yourself that question. How do I look? And if you have a problem with what you see, you have the ability to change that. That is something that you have control over.
Yes.
Yes. So that brings us to rushing into stuff. Let's talk about that a little bit, because image control, you could change your image to get a guy to like you, get a girl to like you, to get a job or whatever. And then you just faking it till you make it, or you just have the blues getting physically sick at this job because you not want to be there anyway. You just for a paycheck, and you putting on this persona and being somebody that you're not. And then you lose yourself in that.
Come
So
on.
let's get into rushing things, like rushing anything. What can you tell the listeners today from your perspective about rushing into stuff?
Listen, y'all, this is a big one. This is a big one. And before I do that, I want to present you all with the scripture that weighs heavily on me when it comes to rushing. Proverbs 19:2. Desire without knowledge is not good. How much more will hasty feet miss the way?
Hasty feet.
Come on. For those of us who are not Bible readers, I love y'all. And that's I've been there. I love y'all.
We love y'all.
But basically what they're saying is if you go from 1 to 10, you're gonna miss what's in the middle. And because you skip what's in the middle, you're gonna miss out. You may put yourself in a situation that had you just waited, you would have missed the consequence, or you would have had a better outcome.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I just want to break that down to break down this a little bit more in detail. As you said, a job, for instance.
Yes.
We have a job. We're doing good. But we're like, God, give me another job. I just want another job. So you get on the internet and you start applying for all these jobs. The first job to come up, boom, you out of there. Only to find out the grass is not greener on the other side.
The grass is green where you water it.
Oh, come on, sister.
Listen, everybody get that confused, like the grass is always green. No, it's not. The grass is green where you water it. You have to water that grass. You have to till that soil. You have to pluck the weeds. You have to cultivate the land. You have to do all of that so that grass can continue to grow and bring substance and whatever else it is that you need to plant. Because if the soil is not right, then you can't nothing grow.
Can't nothing grow.
Yes. So I ain't mean to cut you off, but I just need to talk about.
No, that's what we do.
Yes.
But I love how you said that. But when you're at a job and you're not trainable, or you're not coachable, or you're not looking at how you're presenting yourself, now you want to go somewhere else. Okay, but you're rushing it. Let's talk about a relationship, my personal favorite. Let me talk about my personal favorite. Okay. Yes. So for your girl, I see a man. Oh, he fine. He tall. He skinny. Oh, my type of dude, right? So before I even think about what type of person he is, how much money he had, what type of job do we have? Do we believe in Jesus? I'm instantly like, I want to make him my man. I want to get married. I want to
that lust on you. Had that lust on you.
Yes. I don't create a whole plan in 30 seconds.
Yes.
So then, because I'm going for the gusto, I'm saying, you know what? I ain't missing out on this opportunity. This is what this true story. I'm telling y'all true story. Don't judge your girl.
No judgment.
So I make the move first because he can't get out I can't let him get out my sight. Oh. So I don't wait for them to case me out and see what type of woman I am. I rush. Hey,
how are you? How you doing?
How you doing? I was thinking maybe I could take you out on a date. Sweet. Okay. But then it goes from a date to intimacy. Y'all. And now I'm with a baby with somebody who I rushed. Even though it was an on and off thing for 3 years, it was a rush thing. I didn't really get to know him. We was already in the bed before we talked about going to church.
Yeah.
We was already in the bed before we talked about our future. We didn't make it that far.
Did y'all even know each other's middle names?
We did. We know each other.
Okay. Well, that's good. Just checking.
But I really didn't know how he operated in certain situations. I didn't know how we would act together in certain situations. It's just so much within a person with anything that you are looking to move forward with, get to know the situation, get to know the person, get to know the pros and cons, the consequences. You know, don't rush it, because if it's yours, as Pastor Teray Roberts would say, if it's yours, it ain't going nowhere, no way.
Right.
You got access to it regardless of how long you take to get there. It's yours.
Right.
So I just want to tell anybody who is thinking about rushing into anything, marriage, having children, getting a new job, trying to anything, or even if you're driving and you're trying to rush and get somewhere and run through a red light, and now you're in a whole situation that's gonna make you either with the police or you in an accident. Slow down.
Slow down.
Breathe. Enjoying the scenery on the way.
Yeah. Girl, I just had this conversation with somebody. Was you on the phone? Like, did we talk about this the other day? Yes, because we get, when you rush, you get tunnel vision. So you miss out on the different scenery that you can like glean from and learn from, admire along the way. You know, slow down. Where you going will be there when you get there.
Oh,
but one thing I could say is God's timing is always the right time.
The right time.
And I'll say that again. God's timing is always the right time. It's okay not to get there when you want to, because you don't know what you've been shielded from. Rushing creates unnecessary chaos.
Yes.
I believe that, because I've been one to rush. Because I don't like being late. I'm always the one. I'm going to be there early.
Right.
I'm going to give myself time to leave the house, because we don't know what's going to happen along the way. But I'm going to always get there early. So, you know, it's okay to plan and make sure that you know, not leading yourself or driving down the wrong way or one way, you know, because you could cause accidents that you never should have been a part of. But when you start to rush stuff, you lose a sense of who you are.
Yes.
You do. You lose focus.
Yes.
That balance is thrown off. And then guess what? You sitting here trying to figure out where it went wrong. Are you blaming everybody else?
Come on.
Yeah. And we blame God. You can't blame God because you're miserable. You can't blame God because you rushed. Stop blaming God for everything.
Stop.
He
didn't do it. I love that, because God do give you free will, and people always, you know, come to me and say, well, God, why would God allow this, or why would God let this happen? God gives you free will. I don't know how many times I went to God and said, God, is he the one? God, is he the one? And God said, you have free will. Like, I'm not going to put that restriction on you. But he said, but does this person make you feel good? Does this person make you happy? Can you deal with this person long term? And that's when I had to realize I had to take my time and get to know a person. When he started asking questions like that, I could no longer rush into being with anybody, which is why I'm single now, because I'm taking my time. Yeah, take your time. And see, my brother, we were having a conversation from another podcast with an all-male panel. And we were talking about the age of dating. And he was saying, when you have so many people on an app and you could just swipe and swipe and swipe, and then you just see what you like, and then there you go. People don't take the time to get to know each other. Come on. You just going off of looks, what looks good. Everything that look good ain't good for you. Come on. Like, for real. But it poses the question, how do I look? Like, for real. How do I look? Am I just looking good on the outside and I'm just ugly on the inside? Come on. Because it will reflect at some point. It's going to shine bright at some point. You only can hide under so many layers of whatever you covering up with. Yeah. I mean, and that's true. And even if you can play the game of fooling somebody else, you eventually you have to be honest with yourself. Yep. Eventually. And because you're living a double life, of trying to look this way on the outside, and you're suffering in the inside, and you're crying in the inside, and you're crying out for help. Again, like we just talked about the Miss USA at 30 years old, beautiful on the outside, but it's something in here. It's something in her heart, in her inside, that wasn't quite matching up with the outside. Rest in peace. But that's why I go back to personal self-development is so important, because you want to be happy with the person on the inside. Like, understand that you're not going to, your looks will change. I promise y'all, my looks have changed from 20 to 30. And then, but you don't want people just to say she's pretty, but her attitude.
Yes.
He handsome, but he arrogant.
Yes.
You know, those are not, that is not something I ever want to be associated with.
Right.
I always want people to say, you know what, she's beautiful inside and outside.
Yes. You
know, she's consistent across the board. If you talk to my sister, I'm the same. If you talk to my cousins and my friends, I show up the same.
The same. Yep.
From the inside to the outside, from social media to talking on the phone, nothing changes.
You know, because you know who you are. You embrace that.
Oh, yes.
Yep. You like the way you look to yourself.
Come on.
And when you can like the way you look to yourself, I mean, you gonna do what it takes to show up as your authentic self, unapologetically, and people will flock to that. Like when you shining your light, people they don't want to be in darkness. So let me come to this light. Let me see what this light is about. Follow this light. Come on, light. Be that light. Be the light. Hey, be the light. Ooh, be that light. Shine bright. And the people that ain't supposed to be in that light, give them some shades and let them go. Okay. You know, you might be a little bit too bright for some people, but never dim your light because they still in their darkness.
Come on.
Listen, I can go on and on about that.
I'm telling you, you have to, and like Sister KeKe said, just be you. Love, like, listen, y'all. This a quick story. My son, out before I got my hair done, y'all, because I'm one that will hold on to a hairstyle, like for real. I will hold on to some hair. Right? So my son kept saying, "Mom, you need to get your hair done." I'm like, right, whatever, I'm good. So I eventually I'm going through the process of doing my hair. Y'all making me over, right? I'm trying to make that new. And so I take my other braids out. I'm, combing my hair out. And my son looks at me. He said, "Mommy, you think you look ugly like that?" And I said, "No." He said, "Why? Because you love yourself? Like you tell other people to love themselves?" I said, "Exactly."
Yes.
But I can remember a time where you wouldn't catch me with my hair all over the place, or you wouldn't catch me like that. I wouldn't catch myself like that. I'd be like, "Oh, I gotta hurry up and get my hair done." I'm like, "No, I'm good.
I'm good."
Yeah. I couldn't believe my son said that, y'all, but he's a character anyway. But
and they speak the truth, man. They so innocent. They don't know that whatever comes, that's the truth. Like I was looking at, what was it on Instagram, and they had this lady, and she was saying how she had been being consistent, working out and all that. And the son, she had a nice body. And I don't know if it was a son or a daughter, but she told him to get out after they said, "You lying, you know you had surgery." I said, wow, out of the mouths of babes. And all she stopped the camera and looked and like, "Get out of here." Couldn't say nothing. You busted. Like, you busted. Yeah. So she must have posted it because she thought it was funny or whatever. But I just thought that it was hilarious how she was outed by her child. She telling everybody that she stay in the gym, but you went and had this BBL. You look good. You had a good doctor, so you done paid some good money for it.
Right.
But don't try to be somebody that you're not.
Come on.
If you ain't working out and you don't want to do it, it's okay. You using your money to pay. I can't say nothing about it.
At all.
To each his own.
Come on.
I don't like the gym, but I do work out.
Right.
And I ain't about to go give nobody no money to cut on me and change me. Look, listen, I ain't never had no ass and I ain't probably gonna have none. And I'm good with that. So yes, how do I look? How I look?
How do I look? Okay. How do
Right.
I look, y'all? That's the question of the night.
Ooh.
How do I look? But I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. I love that I can love me now for real, like outside and inside. But every day it's a constant working on that inside. You know, even outside, because I work out, I eat healthy, you know. I really eat healthy because it makes me feel better. Like,
yep.
But I didn't get to that point. I couldn't receive the benefits of working out and eating healthier when I didn't love myself, or when I didn't listen to people who are in the place I'm trying to go and what they did to, you know, on their journey. I couldn't do that.
Right. It's not until you make up your mind to do better that you're going to do it. People can tell you until they blue in the face, but if you don't want to hear what they have to say, you're not going to hear it. It's going to go in one ear to out the other. It may stop halfway. You don't want to hear, stop. I don't want to hear what you have to say.
Yes.
You know, so it's empowering to have that mindset as I'm going to live for me, and I want to be here as long as I can in the body that God blessed me to have, because as we get older, our bodies tend to change. Yes. And if we're not taking care of them the way that we're supposed to take care of them, then guess what? They gonna decline on us real fast. And once that happens, it's hard to come back from that. So yeah, I had to do a lifestyle change too, because I was 236 pounds. And I done dropped 60 pounds.
Come on.
And I'm maintaining that. And I feel great. You know, and it's some of the stuff that I just used to love. It makes me nauseous if I smell it. I don't want to eat it, you know, to each his own. Like, I'm not knocking anybody. I used to love bacon. I can't have it. I'm not going to stop nobody else from eating it. I'm not going to make you feel bad about eating it. It's just, that's not where I'm at right now.
I promise.
So, you know, I like the way I look now, you know.
Yes.
I like the way I feel.
Yes.
You know, I like the way I think. I like my new mindset. I like all of that. Like I said, it's a transformation, total transformation, mind, body, and spirit. Because at the end of the day, I want to be here for as long as I possibly can, doing the things that I love, helping people along the way, and just making sure that I am being true to who I am and who God created me to be. Man. So how do you look? Like, how do I look? Ask yourself that question. And that's what we're talking about on today's episode. How do I look? And we've talked about some great things. We talked about image control, the power of having clean social media, self-love, personal development, not rushing into anything. And then we're going to get into a hard one right now, the power of forgiveness. Yeah, it could sting a little bit because, you know, it takes a free person, Come on. To forgive when they've been wrong, to forgive yourself when you've not lived or did things to yourself that you know that you should have no business. I didn't always love myself. So I allowed people to treat me any kind of way. Or I held on to some of the words that folks said to me that I should have cussed out. And I was like, dang, I should have said this, this, and that. But the time had passed. Yeah. And so it made me like cold in a sense. Ooh. And so I took on this mentality of, if it's not my way, I don't want to be bothered with it. Yeah. Don't want to be bothered with it. And so I didn't like being that type of person. I was selfish, mean, hard. Yeah. And I'm like, you pushing people away that really love you. And the people that you didn't need to be having in your circle, you allowed them in there. Why? Because I didn't like the way I looked inside. Inside. So the power of forgiveness, when we talk about the power of forgiveness, what does that mean to you? What do you think about when you hear that?
Now this I get very emotional when it comes to this topic, because I have come a long way of forgiveness. And to really understand what forgiveness is, it's just overcoming that emotion of resentment and feeling like you want revenge on this other person, and you want them to suffer, and you want them to feel what you felt. When I was trapped in unforgiveness, all I could do was play in my head different scenarios of what I could do or what I could have somebody else do to this person who wronged me.
Right.
But with the end result, all I got was sleepless nights. All I got was I'm talking about a bitter heart. And like you, I went in isolation because I felt that I could trust no one. If this person did this to me, who I was very loyal to, then what y'all want?
Right.
What would make y'all any different than this person? And God, it was God. God is so good. He really helped me heal from that. There's so many benefits to forgiveness. One, forgiveness is part of the process in healing.
Yes.
I love the song. I can't think of his name, but he say, they say don't get bitter, get better. He said, I'm working on switching them letters. Lecrae, the guy.
Okay.
Lecrae. And it hit me like a light bulb went off, like, ooh, if I want to get better, I gotta forgive. Unforgiveness is like a weight that's holding you down. You're trying to keep walking, but it keeps pulling you back and holding you down.
Yes,
and you ultimately, you restrict your own blessings.
Yes.
You restrict your own blessings. So, and we say, okay, Emily, so how do I start to forgive? First, let me tell you, it's not easy. It ain't easy, especially if you don't have a relationship with God or a higher power. You can't do it on your own. I promise you. You need a higher power to help get you through that. Right. But what I used to do is, I'm a real big believer in affirmations and a big believer in repeating things to train my mind to believe it. Right. So when I was going through anybody had to forgive, I would just say, I forgive you. I forgive you. But as I'm forgiving them, I will let the tears fall because there's so much hard emotion with that. I would just cry.
You was cleansing.
I was cleansing, and I didn't want people to see me crying, or so I would go in the shower and I would just cry all that out and just say, I forgive you. Even if I had to hit the wall, y'all, I'm telling y'all my truth. Even if I had to hit the walls or whatever. When it came to forgiving my child's father, I would do this one thing. I got a shoebox. And I would write down everything he did that hurted me. Everything. I can't believe you did this, but I forgive you. I can't believe you did this, but I forgive you. I can't believe you left me, but I forgive you. I can't. And then this was an everyday thing. I'm crying. I will put the pen down, go in the other room, come back and do the same thing. But I forgive you. So once I got done, if I collected all of that I had written up and put it in the ball, put it in the box, y'all, and I threw it away when I finally got it out. And I said, I forgive you. Okay, so the last thing, how I knew I forgave him, we went to a funeral because we shared some of the same friends. And this was just recently.
Okay.
Even though I see him all the time because of my child, he got to get my child. But we've never been in a setting like this. So together with no kid, no distraction. And I had just came back from praise dancing, I see him walk in. The first thing I said is, hey, did you see your son? And he was like, no, where is he at? Boom, go get his son. But then as I'm standing there, I said, I was like, can I have a hug? Now, this is a man, y'all, I'm telling y'all, who has took me through and through. I gave him a hug. He gave me a hug. He reached out and gave me a hug. We hugged each other. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I can't stand this man. I can't believe I just did that. But then I'm wrecking my brain. Like, what was I doing? So I went back down. I hollered at my homeboy guy and I said, hey, what happened? Why did I reach out to this man and ask him for a hug?
Mm-hmm.
He said, didn't you ask me for a forgiving heart?
Mm.
I said, I did. I said, but not that quick. He said, well, what did you expect?
Like, yeah. How
You
long does
asked for it?
forgiveness take? Yeah.
So that's when I knew not only was I healed,
Mm-hmm.
I was I forgave my child's father. And it wasn't, when I gave him a hug, I didn't think more like, oh, what he thinking about me? Is he thinking about me? Am I going over? Is he gonna come? It was none of that. It was more like kumbaya. Like,
Yeah.
let bygones be bygones.
Mm-hmm.
And we good. And it's been good ever since, sister. It's been good.
That's good. I love that. We have to have that power. It's so much power in forgiving people who wrong us, because we hold on to that. And guess what? They sleeping good at night. They ain't thinking about you. They're not thinking about you. You giving them that power over your mind, because it's consumed. When you allow anything to consume you, it has control over you. Yes. So if you're going to be consumed with something, be consumed with self-love. Be consumed with forgiveness. Be consumed with, looking at yourself and loving what you see look back at you. Be consumed with being self-aware, holding yourself accountable, operating in positivity, letting your light shine. If you're going to be consumed with something, be consumed with all of those things. For anyone who is listening and you're allowing someone that much power over you to consume you to the point where you don't know who you are, or you don't see yourself walking into your purpose or whatever, let that go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Go. Let it go.
Head up in the grass. I think you better let it go. Yeah, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And then ask yourself the question of the night. How do I look? How do you look once you let all of the stuff that's weighing you down so heavy go? Take a minute. Inhale. Exhale. Let it go. Repeat that process as much as you need to repeat it. Because at the end of the day, you are doing more harm than good to yourself.
Yes.
By holding on to all of this stuff that you have the power to let go.
Let go.
Let go.
Yeah.
That's a word. On a personal note, before we get out of here, what would you tell your younger self about some of the things that we just talked about as yourself right now?
I would tell my younger self to start seeking the root of the problem. And don't be afraid to experience new and growth. Because I was afraid of something new. That's why I stuck in the same environment. Wow. Around the same people. I felt protected. With these people and these places I was going. That's what I would tell my younger self, because that's what I was missing. And the last thing I would tell myself is, regardless of what anybody think about you, if they got you on a high pedestal, or if they think about you, low about you, you have to be the one to make up in your mind who you are and love you, regardless of what people can say, oh, she's so intelligent, but you ain't got to meet them standards. Right. Live and know your own standards. Yes. I love that. I love that. And guys, I want to thank y'all for listening. Ebony, thank you for coming to kick it with me. It has been a pleasure. I am so proud of you. And for people who are listening, look, we just connected on social media and been riding ever since. Yes. Yes. So there is power in social media connections. Everything on social media is not bad.
you know, you have the control to control that what you allow and who you allow in your space.
Yes.
It's not rocket science. So I am here every Thursday, 6:00 p.m. I am on all major platforms. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we can all be friends.
Yes.
Yes. If you would like to look at the behind the scenes, go on over to my YouTube channel, Kicking It with KeKe, Kicking It without the G, and you can watch all of the previous episodes. I am excited about this podcast. It is new, but it is true, and I am walking in everything that God has been blessing me to do. I have some great content coming for you guys. So make sure that you just connect with me and go ahead and follow us on social media. Ebony, go ahead and tell the people how to reach you, girl.
Oh, yes. Follow me on Instagram at I am Ebony D. Hit your girl up on Facebook at I am Ebony Davis. And if you are a single woman looking for self-love, health, and happiness, go over to my private Facebook group, Single Women Finding Self-Love, Health, and Happiness. I'll be happy to have y'all.
Yes, y'all heard it right here. And I am on all social media except for some of it. I'm like, listen, I can't do the Snapchat and all
Right.
that. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. But I am on Instagram at the KeKe Chanel. I am on Twitter at the KeKe Chanel. You can check out my website at www.thekekechanel. I am on Facebook as Kicking It with KeKe Podcast, as well as author KeKe Chanel. So if you type in KeKe Chanel, I will be there. There you go.
Love
So
it.
thanks again for you guys listening.
Thank
I appreciate you supporting me and tuning in. Until next time, make sure that you practice self-love. Make sure that you like the way that you look. Make sure that you find power in forgiving people who have wronged you. Make sure that you forgive yourself, because we wrong ourselves on a daily. And make sure that you just practice positive personal development. That's all I have to say. Until next time, talk to you later. Bye.